Greetings, comrades! Time for you to go into your closets and dig out your 1980s-era ushanka hats for these next two episodes. Yeah, I know you got them, you filthy commies, because today we are looking at the first of two Alice in Wonderland adaptations that came out of the former Soviet Union. Yes, I said that. In the early 20th century, the Russian Empire collapsed, ravaged by civil war and the rise of the far-left Bolshevik faction founded by Vladimir Lenin. When the Bolsheviks ascended to power in 1922, the Soviet Union was born, a communist world superpower that spanned from Europe to Asia. The country lasted for just over 70 years, and for much of its history, it was ruled by the Man of Steel. No, not that one. Getting warmer. There he is! Joseph Stalin, 5-time consecutive winner of Time Magazine's Mustache of the Year. What do you mean that's not a real award? They lied to me? Stalin's reign as the dictator of the Soviet Union was marked by political terror, consolidation of power, collectivization of the economy, and the deaths of millions in forced labor camps known as the Gulag. It was a time of rampant paranoia, a man-made famine, and unspeakable oppression and bloodshed. After Stalin's death in 1953, the Soviet Union saw a gradual evolution away from Stalinism called de-Stalinization. But political paranoia and artistic suppression continued throughout the Cold War. Secret police spied on citizens, and the government took great care to control the art that citizens were allowed to consume. Yeah, good thing after the Soviet Union fell, Russia never ever got up to any other naughty business like suppressing the free press, committing gross human rights violations, invading other people's countries, and being just a bastion of honesty and fair play, right? You see, the Soviet government kept its people isolated from, quote, subversive ideas found in art, philosophy, media, and basically anything that wasn't explicit Marxist propaganda. And yet, a few creations from us Western capitalist pigs did slip in, such as a version of Winnie the Pooh that was apparently pretty good, as well as this film, an animated Alice in Wonderland adaptation from 1981. I brought up the history of the Soviet Union because the idea of art coming out of any country marked by such rampant oppression is baffling to me. It's even more baffling when it's an adaptation of English children's literature that's so fantastical in nature. Fantasy and imagination would seem to run contrary to the goals of authoritarianism. By controlling the art that people are allowed to be exposed to, the better that you control their thoughts and make them less likely to rebel against the state.
На что мне сумасшедшие?
Ничего не поделаешь, все мы здесь не в своем уме. И я, и ты.
But would you believe? This is one of the most stunning, imaginative, and surreal animated films I've ever seen. I mean, just look at some of this imagery.
Вот дом, который построил жук. А это певица, которая в темном чулане хранится в доме, который построил жук.
This version of Alice in Wonderland was aired in 3 parts on Ukrainian television in 1981. It severely truncates and rearranges the events of the story to accommodate a shorter running time. As an adaptation goes, this one isn't one of the best if you're looking for strict adherence to the text, but there's a reason for that. It's specifically an adaptation of the first edition of the Russian translation done by Nina Dumarova, who acted as a consultant on this film. But where this version really shines is in the animation. For those of us in the West who are so used to Disney setting the standards for animation, it's a breath of fresh air to see animation that's so startlingly different than what we grew up with. It's so colorful, surreal, and unbelievably creative, not unlike Terry Gilliam's animation style. Well, that film was a little bit too surreal and creative for my Marxist mind. Tomorrow's movie had better be perfectly normal, and that means 100% state approved and non-subversive. Hello? Secret police? Yes, we have subversives in our midst. Send someone right away. Well, sir, they were adapting a work from those Western capitalist pigs, and they were being creative and original. So what if I'm using an iPhone in the 1980s? This is important!